Alright, everybody, it's time for a magical bit of learning. To anybody watching this, you're probably learning, how the heck do I become a super awesome officer that does all of the things? Well, today is your very unlucky day to get to sit through this video and learn how. Step one, usually for our crew so far, is you do need a ship to become an officer. And once you do that, through the magic of a shipyard and purchase your ship, which hopefully you know how to do by now, you will have yourself a deed, which will show up in your inventory here. And it will say deed to the whatever ship and whatever name. So you can head on over to the dock of where you got that. Of course, we're all probably quite familiar at this point with my wonderful ship name. It will also highlight it in a slightly different blue outline than it will any other ship, so it is a little bit easier to find. You hop on board, and there's going to be a couple big super things to notice. The first thing for any ship you get on in the crew is you're going to see this lock sign. Now, on your own ship, this is very, very important, as this is what dictates who can use your ships, and also when you're on other ships, who can use it and for what reasons. Now, all of this can be changed through this navigation table. You will have many, many options. Honestly, you're never going to be down here except when you want to set what that lock is. Now, when you see it unlocked like this, this is what is, say, designated for crew use. Any officer in the crew that has officer privileges may not enter any kind of sinking thing, but may use the ship to head on a pillage. Now, because this is Obsidian, there are some issues, and any ship can be sunk at any time, even though this is not set to sinking items. So please keep that in mind, but I'll get to that a bit later. Then there is the very deadly skull, and as it says, it is designated battle ready. Any officer can now take it into any sinking anything. Typically, there is never a reason to set this, as any officer in the crew can freely sink your ship, more so than usual. From there, of course, you'll see how it started out. Set block to personal use. Only the person who has the deed has any buttons. So, as you will notice with officer, which you may not know before, may not have currently, is there are a few extra buttons here. Now, on your own ships, you will have your arrange furniture button, which you can use to put furniture anywhere you want. But again, not really majorly important. If you know how to use a house, you know how to do that. So we're going to get to a couple other buttons here. Now, I'm a fleet officer, as we can see through my fancy hat, so I have a few extra buttons, but we're going to go through what your ship will look like and the key differences when using any other ship. So the biggest thing once you get it is you do need to stock it, and you probably have learned by now that in this hold that you have commodities, and the biggest key is you need any kind of rum, swill, or grog. Now, swill and grog, although they do work, have a much lower time for them to be effective, so it is recommended you always purchase fine rum. Just because you get a lot more time out of it, which is very, very useful when you start getting more pirates. Secondly, you also need cannonballs to the size of a ship. Now, even though in this sloop I currently have large, medium, and smalls, a sloop, which I'm currently on, can only shoot small cannonballs. These are effectively just kind of being stored here for my own reasons. But they are not useful at all. So if I took this ship out, these would not be used. Now, the big thing is, typically, this will start off on any ship blank. There will be nothing here, just like this little brown space, absolutely nothing here. So you will need to go into buy-sell commodities here, and you will be able to access this list. Now, on your own ship, there will be this coffers, and any ship you get on, you will see the coffers. With your own ship, and only your own ships, you must add money to the coffers, and obviously you do that by taking some money. We'll put 2,000 in here and deposit. This is now money that is on board the ship. Do not do this to any ship that is not your own. And I say this because right now I have this withdrawal button, so I can go and I can take 1,000 PO out. There is 1,000 PO left. It has refunded it to me. That will not work on any ship that is not yours as an officer. When you put that money in, it is gone, and only the vessel owner or a fleet officer or above can get that money back. Do not use it. With a ship that is not your own, the key difference I mentioned earlier, all things that you buy, it will only let you buy cannonballs, rum, grog, swill, etc. Just the very basic commodities. It will let you buy, and it will only take it out of your personal funds. It will not take out of the coffers in the ship. It will not allow you to access those coffers. So again, if it is not your ship, you do not touch this menu at all. This withdrawal will not exist. But as it is your own ship, you want to put money in the coffers, you go over. So we need, again, fine rum. So currently I have 14. That's not very much. So this is where things get a little confusing. Now we have our buy price and our sell price. Now, buy price is actually what the stall is buying it for. So Claire Bear's distilling stall right here is buying fine rum at 55. Now, because I have 14 rum on board, as shown under Ye Hold, I can sell them this 14 rum. But we want to go on a pillage and we want to drink some rum. So that is not good for us. You actually need to sort by sell price. So on sell price, it will then relist to the cheapest at the top of each thing. So you want to make sure you're not looking at the bottom or kind of like where it ends, because that gets really expensive. But on the very top, it will show Ivy's Distilling Stall is selling fine rum for 63 po a piece. So if I go and we'll say we'll buy a ton of them, it will preemptively say, okay, your units 10 at 63 each for 630. So right now they're selling 70. If I click buy, it will update my hold to show that now I have 24 on the ship, and now they are only selling 60 more. And it has taken it out of my coffers. Again, if it is not your ship, it will take it out of your pocket. So again, we'll do the same thing with cannonballs. So we find cannonballs there. It's already on sell price, so we can buy, we'll say, another 10 there. That will cost me 320 po. And again, we're using this buy button. The easy way to remember is you're always using the buy button. Now, if you do have extra things on your own ship, again, you cannot do this on a ship that is not on your own. But let's say I want to sell some mangoes. I have 2 mangoes in my hold. The market here is buying them at 14, so I can type in 2, and again I can sell those, and that 28 po will end up in my coffers here. But again, that only works if that ship is not your own. So key thing, always sort by your sell price right here, and make sure that you are pressing the buy button. So just as an easy example, if I clicked here where it says 55 and 63, both are lit up. So remember, you are buying commodities. So now that we have a ship stocked, again, you typically want probably a little bit more. This is just for example purposes. Some people run about 35 rum and at least 50 to 100 cannonballs. Usually, you kind of get the feel as where you go, but anything that you put on a ship that is not your own will stay there. So make sure whatever you buy you're going to use, or if it's your own ship, feel free to overbuy. Because you'll always be able to use it unless you lose a pillage, in which case some will be stolen from you. So we're going to take a look at our navigation wheel, and you'll probably notice now that you're an officer, or once you soon are, you will have these extra buttons. Normally you would just see how to play, navigate, and kind of see some of these might be grayed out. First thing you need to do is chart a course. Now, my universe is not completely filled out, but there's a very key thing to remember, and this is different from other oceans if you've played on another ocean before, but again comes back to if your ship is left unlocked, you are at risk for this, for somebody else taking your ship in. From Port Venture all the way up through here and up to Triplets, this is called the Gray Waters. In this, a ship is completely safe from being sunk. Anywhere else in this whole wide ocean, so that includes from Night Harbor to the middle, to the top left, to the top right, to Lion Haven, all over here. anywhere outside, any player on the enemy faction may shoot you and sink you. There's absolutely no regards to that lock. If that is left unlocked and an officer takes it that way, you can and may be sunk. The nice thing is you can also sink other people. So be wary. Take that risk on your own hands. But make sure, if you really want to keep your ship to yourself and nobody can lock it, make sure, again, we go down to that navigation table, we cycle through that lock, and it just goes one to the next. Make sure that your ship is locked. Or if you're nice, you can leave it unlocked for other people to use. It is an expectation of all of our officers that if you sink someone else's ship, you do replace it. There is absolutely no leeway on that. You sink it, you buy it. Plain and simple. If you don't want to have to worry about it, sail your own ship. That being said, let's get back to fun stuff. Why do we take ships out? Well, number one, we like to pillage. So, going back to charting a course, you're going to zoom in with these on here. This little middle button is your GPS finder. Automatically finds your ship. So no matter how zoomed in you are, it will bring you right there. Normally, you'll need a chart. And if you don't have the chart from Port Venture onward, that is very easy to get. We'll actually jump off real quick. Again, you can go into any shipyard. And you have a buy charts, and for mere 60 po, you can get it on the Crace. So make sure that you have that chart. Get back on your ship. And charts will work either way. You can have them in your charts down here, or you can have them on the table. Either way, they will work. So, once you have your chart, you'll notice these little blue kind of dots. And those blue dots mean that you can sail that way. Now, once you've sailed a route enough times, you'll notice that they kind of turn orange. These means I no longer need a chart ever, but better to just have a chart. So, when you want to sail somewhere, you have to pick an island, and then you click on any island you want. You make sure you click on the little dot that it's on, and then you click chart. Now you may notice if you try to not leave it on an island, like let's say I wanted to go there, it will not let you. So I can chart. Now let's say I really don't want to go all the way to green. I want to go just to Kraris. You can clear your charted and you're good. Same thing with proposed. If I've left it here, I really don't want it, you can clear that. The big thing to keep in mind, you will notice, if I go mapping out and then come back, it will delete the extra. That is because you cannot nav to the same island twice. If you want to do this, if you want to do the big circle, you would have to chart here, leave it there, sail all the way to there, and then chart back from there, back over here, and back down. You cannot chart to the same island twice. So, we've decided we want to go to Chris, we place it down, we click chart course, and then we get out of this little screen here. Now, while we're on here, we'll also notice this little screen here, this nice little white circle, this is called your radar. If we deport our ship, you will now notice different ship colors start to appear if there are any other ships nearby. So, when you're doing that, that is very useful to know based on your voyage here. These are the different types of pillages or sets of voyages that you can. You can set it just to sword fights, you can set it just to rumbles, or you can set it for both. Now these are just what your ship is searching for. You will find ships of, even if you're setting on one, like just want to do sword fighting, a rumble ship may still attack you. It is not a guarantee, it is just what is affecting your auto targeter, which is this little button down here. So, typically, you may want to go easy, and it may be really, really tempting to go all the way down. Now you'll notice it actually doesn't even let you drag down to these lower things. Now, the color is difficulty from easiest to hardest. So why wouldn't we want to go to the major easiest? Well, that's very simple. That's because if we did, we would actually be at risk for something called the black ship. Now, realistically, the black ship can show up anywhere from the deepest blue to this kind of teal. So unless you are searching for green ships, you are at risk for the black ship, and the black ship will ruin your day. Don't do it. You will actually lose everything in your hold. It will attack you with 156 skeletons, and they give you a very bad day. So, we figure out, okay, we want to do everything. We don't want the auto-targeter to attack players. You know, we don't want to go really hard. We're going to keep it nice and green and easy. We're going to click OK. It will now update you saying the vessel is now pillaging for your average brigands and barbarians. So, from there, we also want to manage our jobbers. Typically, if it has not done it already, you want to take charge, and it will show you are the officer in charge. So, if we want to get people, we can type in pillage with me. Now, this statement is actually shown to other people when they go into the notice board, which I cannot see because I'm already on a ship, but on those... yeah, will not load for me. So, there's normally a little speech bubble, which you've already probably seen by now, and that is how you change what that is. But right now, this is not on the notice board, so nobody can find us. So, in order to attract people, we want to hire jobbers. Now, when we do this, this is when these swabbies will automatically clear without you clicking the button. In fact, actually, it is even saying there's one waiting auto applicant, which is actually kind of neat. So that is useful. So when we click this job, it will instantly summon all of our swabbies. If there are people looking, which you can even take a look, it'll let you show info. You can instantly click hire or decline, and it will send an invite to that person to job with the crew. All right, ahoy! We already have somebody. So, we always want to welcome everybody onto our ships. Once they come on, they have the choice to accept or neglect or, decline. It is your job to make sure, as officer in charge, that everybody is at a station and ready to go. Now, for your swabbies, you actually have the advantage. You can actually tell each one that you want them to do a thing, and they will actually go do it. There is a delay when they go under deck till when they actually take the station, which is why we do not have a station here. Now, if you click sail, they will auto take stations, which is awesome. But you want to make sure that you have bilge, sails, and carpentry fill at all time. We'll go ahead and we can hire more people. Ahoy! Alright, let them know to get on station. And hopefully they're all nice as this wonderful person here that is thanking us to stay any station. Now again, that's an example of that blue ring we don't ever want. As you click on ships, it will kind of tell you. Again, this is the difference between green, okay to attack, teal, not okay to attack. Red, definitely don't attack. Either way, you want to keep it nice and green. So, now we have 2 bots on bilge, 1 person there, 1 person there. Could probably load some guns. Could do it myself, but we have the available people to do it, so we will let those guns be loaded. So again, as we're sailing away, everybody's on station. You can take a look at your radar, see what's kind of coming up, find out if there's anything you want to attack. Sometimes you may navigate. It is usually wise to do. It looks like we have a crew member. Now there is a big thing which just happened here. We use something called PTB, or permission to board. You should have learned this, hopefully, as a aspiring pirate, but because some pillages are designed to run with as few people as possible, to use the little rum, to get moving, you're supposed to ask permission to hop on board before just suddenly doing it like that. Grounds for jumping on a ship like that are subject to the plank. Now, as an officer, let's say someone is AFK, you can type /plank, for example, my own name. When you do so, they will be automatically kicked off of the vessel. If they are a jobber, which you will see in this little jobber thing icon there, they will automatically be removed from the crew once you do that. Now, that does not stop them from reapplying. Now we've reached our league point right here. You then have to hit sail. Now, you may have noticed earlier when I came off the island. Again, radar does not show until you deport, but unless you are ported, your ship is always taking on water. It is always taking on damage if it is moving. So deporting is fine, but keep in mind that if you're just sitting there, or if you're sitting on a league point, you will continuously take water. Now, the other thing you may notice is I did have to order another bot to gun. Now, when people come on the ship, you do lose your swabbies, and you have to make sure throughout the entire pillage that you have that nice, at least one on each station, and as many as you can on sails. So we're going to check our radar here, see what's coming up. So we have a blue ship. We do not want to attack that. Again, black ship is bad. I'm repeating myself a lot, but looks like it was a bot. It changed to the magical green, which green is what we're looking for. So assuming it is not a player, which it is not, we will get into the auto-targeting. So that should engage, and there we go. You have entered battle. You can give out a nice little I'm in battle cry if you like. I'm personally a fan of it. And then, of course, your battle navigation. Practice makes perfect. Each battle you take will be interesting and unique. The moves are quite simple. You can do one of two things, and I will do that once the next thing is. So this is your grapple. These are your cannons, which is why, of course, gunning is so important. And these are your available moves. Now, by default, you'll see this little kind of square appearing. The system will automatically attempt to fill up all of your moves. And that was me being silly with a rock. Don't do that. Now, you can either drag moves, or if you left-click on an empty space, it will go left turn, then middle, then right, and then clear. You also have the option, if you know you're going to need a certain move, you can manually pick what move that you want. Again, you do have to be careful to look out for anybody that leaves the vessel during battle. Hopefully that does not happen. But you got to keep an eye on it, find out, make sure that your stations are even. Now, let's say somebody needs to be doing something. You can order a person just the same as a bot with more options. You can give them navigating. Obviously, you never want someone to be set to navigate. Now, once a ship grapples, be it your ship or the other ship, your controls will lock out. It will eventually show the engage has happened, and then of course battle will commence. Now, because I bumped into rocks twice, we will have one line of damage. Because they have not taken any damage, be it getting shot with a cannon or bumping into rocks, they will not have any line of damage. You can kind of tell on the screens there are those differences. Not as of yet, sorry. Alright, so there we go. And now it is, of course, your responsibility to make sure everyone is teamed. Now, thankfully, without having to say anything, everybody is already teamed up. But, especially when you have green names, it is good to assume a green name player may have never played before, and they may be completely unfamiliar, as you may have been once a very, very long time ago. So it is always worth having a keybind, which you can use through your F1 to F3 keys. And those keys, which can be set in options, can be set to anything you would want to type off. Usually good reminders on how to team, what team sizes you like. Some people like to have, 2 to 3. Some people have, 4. Usually 4 is bad, because if you do too many, the bots will begin to stall, and you won't get all the damage. Alright, so we've cleared up pretty good. I'm really not getting attacked pretty hard, so I'm going to make, and of course now I do, I'm going to make the attempt to start doing some damage. We're going to see how well that goes. Now, once you begin on a pillage, it is your responsibility to see it through. You do not start a pillage until you know you have the time commitment, because you cannot abandon a ship while it is at sea. If you do, everything on that ship can get removed, and of course you're setting a very bad experience for our jobbers, which jobbers are how we grow the crew. So you want to create a wonderful, wonderful experience. Remember, at the time of becoming an officer, you are the most important person in the crew. More important than myself, more important than the captain, more important than the SOs, in the fact that you are the face of what brings people in. You are the amazing person that actually can bring people in and create wonderful experiences for everybody to join along. Anytime you're running a pillage, you are the awesomest person ever. So remember that, and always give it your best effort, always be ready, and make sure you have enough time to complete your pillage. Let's see if I can get the spot here before he clears the screen. Clear. Die. Die so I can reteam. There we go. Looks like our bots are having a bad time, so. Obviously, the better you get at battle navigation, the less lines you have and the more lines they have. So everybody starts having a great time. Once you get better at it. But practice makes perfect. Even experienced people can screw up. I haven't found any sign of such things. There we go, another person down. There we go. And hopefully we can get out of this real quick, so that way we can get back to the awesome bit of teaching for everyone. Alright. It looks like we have turned the tides and are being successful. In which case, you want to get ready mentally to start celebrating with everybody else of your glorious victory. Alright, so You're all familiar with this beautiful, beautiful screen. This is what we want to look for. Every now and then you're lucky and get sea monster maps of many different kinds. Now, we know that is a rumble because we saw the little rumble icon there. Regular ships will be available. Now, if you are looking to port and you are going to be done and not going to pillage more, you want to make sure to turn off your job offer. If you want to gun, you can. I will let someone do gunning. Obviously you saw, and some people will do this. Now there is our sword fighting icon. Again, rumble, sword fight, so you know what you're getting into. Some people will offer to battle navigate for you, or duty navigate for you. You do not give anyone the helm. Nobody by default can use the navigation unless you order them to do it. There is never a reason to let somebody navigate other than a fellow officer who is willing, or above, or yourself. You do not let jobbers run your ship. It is your ship. And we are going to, again, making sure everything is good to go. That's kind of interesting, actually. Can I attack that? No, can't do that. Interesting. Obviously, you saw quickly, you can tell how many players are on a player ship by doing a VHU. Easy ballhead. Make sure you don't misspell anything, and it will tell you on that ship it has 3 players on it. And there's other ships that are in port, which are not important. So, you do have to also watch your gunners, because you can, in battle navigation, only gun for as many guns as you have loaded. This guy offered a while back to gun or battle navigate for us. He has not loaded a gun yet. We shot 1 gun. We are still at 3 guns. We are about to reach leak point. Now, at leak point to a jobber, it will show them what duty they're doing. I'd also love to know why we didn't attack that. Oh, so they're already battled. So, we want to head back to this island real quick. So we're going to bring up this, clear and charted, set back, chart course, and sail. Hopefully we can catch up. But they seem to be moving a little bit faster, so they are probably going to get away from us, unfortunately. Close that. And sometimes that happens. Ah, we have our 4th gun. Awesome. So, if you wanted to know, based on the last duty report, because it does not show to you, you press the escape key, and it will show you what everyone did for that last leak. Now, because I left leak point, turned around, came right back to it, no report was generated because it canceled the old one. So the escape key is what you are looking for. Hopefully we're able to find another battle here. We are going to look. It does. Always feel free to keep your crew wonderful and updated. We're going to keep taking a look and seeing what's coming up on our magical radar. Also, it is always wise to keep an eye on chat to see any flag or officer messages, because many important things may be happening that you might be unaware of. Enemy ships may be nearby, players may be attacking players. Always keep a good eye on chat as well. So there is quite a little bit. Normally this would go for at least 4, 5, 10, 30 battles. You never really want to do a pillage for 1 battle, but All right. I'll pay him another 500. All right. So, once we have reached an island, you must port your ship again. And then we are down here to where we'll pillage, and we divide the thing. So, we can see Yuri did not fight with us. You know, if somebody disconnected, that would be bad, but we bring it up. You typically don't need to change these. Just submit to vote. Everybody will vote. You're familiar with voting. And then, of course, things show up. So, it says your summary, 1 battle 1. Now, you notice how there was arrows. Again, you can remove 1 share from somebody if they, let's say, disconnected during a battle. You can go ahead and plank them right after the battle and then remove it from that booty share. Typically, hopefully, that's not needed. So over the course of the pillage, we have used some of our supplies. Now, on the booty division, we actually got a fine rum and a small cannonball. And there's our PTB. Which normally they would ask yes, but I know Rogue personally, so not mad about it. But on that booty division, the ship restocking, the 1 rum and the 1 cannonball was automatically added to the hold. Your ship or not, automatically added. So it does help. Now, especially if it is not your ship, make sure at all times you want to restock any supplies you used. As you sail, you shoot your cannonballs, you drink your rum, bring it up. Now, because this is my ship, part of that restocking down here, this 265 pound, was added to my coffers. If it is not your ship, that ship restocking right there will actually be added to your own pocket there. That way you are able to restock the ship. Again, you never deposit things into the coffers unless you see this withdrawal button. Unless it is your own ship, do not do it. So, again, you know, let's say we want to bring it up to a little bit more rum here, get up to 25. We go in, we want to sort by sell price, find our fine rum, and you're going to buy our 2 more. And again, shows 25. There you go. You guys know what to do with small cannonballs and the rest from here. So be prepared for your officer exam and let us know with any questions you may have. Have a wonderful, wonderful time.